The Consoling Thoughts of St. Francis de Sales. Consoling Thoughts on Trials of an Interior Life, Infirmities of Soul and Body, etc. Chapter 16. Temptations of Blasphemy and Infidelity. You cannot and you should not believe that temptations of blasphemy and infidelity come from God. And whoever taught you that God was their author? If it were all right, if you spoke of darkness, all right of dereliction and deprivation of strength, all right of diarrhea in the spiritual stomach, all right of bitterness in the interior mouth, which makes the sweetest wine of this world bitter, but of suggestions of blasphemy and infidelity, no, they cannot come from our good God. His bosom is too pure for such conceptions. Do you know how God acts in this case? He permits the wicked blacksmith, who turns out such articles of workmanship, to come and offer them to us for sale, in order that by our contempt for those miserable wares we may testify our affection for divine things. Thus he acted with Job, with St. Anthony, with St. Catherine of Siena, with many good souls whom I have known, and with my own soul, which is worthless, and which I have not known. Well, then, is there any need to be vexed? Let him cool himself, and do you keep every avenue barricaded? He will depart at length, or, if not, God will compel him to raise the siege. Remember what I think I told you before. It is a very good sign that he makes so much noise and disturbance outside the will, for it shows he is not inside. And courage, so long as we can say with resolution, though without consolation, live Jesus. There is nothing to fear. Do not tell me that you seem to say it like a coward, without strength or courage, and only by doing violence to yourself. O God, this is that holy violence which bears away the kingdom of heaven. Your apprehensions may show that the outworks have been taken, that the enemy has captured the entire fortress, but still the citadel remains impregnable, and can only fall with its defender. This defender is our free will, which, naked before God, resides in the highest and most spiritual portion of the soul, without any other support than God and itself. When every other faculty of the soul is disturbed by the enemy, it alone remains perfect master of itself to yield or not to yield. But you see, souls are afflicted because the enemy, holding possession of all the other faculties, raises in them a frightful tumult and uproar. Scarcely can we understand what is said. Scarcely can the superior will make one movement. Its voice is clearer, softer, finer than that of the inferior will, but the harsh, rough tones of the latter drown the former. Note: the following beautiful thoughts are from the Blessed Henry Susso. They are well calculated to comfort souls subject to those horrible temptations. I shall add, to terminate this subject, that the temptations of blasphemy, despair, and interior shame place to a certain degree those who resist them in the rank and prerogatives of martyrs. For the servants of God would much prefer to yield with one blow their heads, their blood, their life for Jesus Christ, than to endure such painful temptations for months and even for years. Let us conclude, then, that persons afflicted with scruples are the most favored by divine love, and the surest to arrive at heaven, because by enduring their pains with patience and humility, and thus dying to themselves, they live in a continual purgatory and leave this earth only to fly to heaven, purified from every matter of expiation. This is what happened to a holy soul that was cruelly tried by the temptations of which we have spoken. God glorified it at the moment of death, conducted it to heaven without requiring it to pass through the flames of purgatory, and of its salvation I can render testimony to the praise and honor of Jesus Christ, who is blessed forever. Here ends the reading, and thanks be to God.